We took this on, trying to bring product stewardship to California. We realized this was not a small task. This is an earth-shattering paradigm shift for multiple industries, and it's trying to change how they actually do business as an entire industry group. That's not going to happen overnight. That's not going to happen without a lot of tensions, and that's not going to happen without a lot of strategy and thinking and partnerships and leverage. Our goal is to get the policy that we want, and you have to try and figure out how are you going to keep enough pressure points on this bill all the way through the process. That's hard, and it's really hard with a big bill. So the first thing we need to do is get critical mass, because when you're trying to do a major paradigm shift like with product stewardship, you have to have a whole lot of people saying the same thing at the same time. And that means you've got to do a lot of education. And you need a lot of political horsepower. So it means identifying where your barriers are and getting the right people that have the power with those people to put pressure on them and to guide them and to educate them. Training your army, that's the next part. Because we need an army to do this. And it's going to take time to build the army and get the troops all marching in the same direction to the same tune. And that's incredibly important for our Army on product stewardship. If somebody over here is using product stewardship and the other one's using term EPR, and this one's saying that it's internalized cost, and this one's saying that it's collected at a visible fee, people are so confused, they're just lost. So one of our biggest goals at Product Stewardship Council is doing education and making sure all of us are using the same definitions and following the same message. Identifying potential partners. We do not have the leverage in a small nonprofit to pull this off alone. This is going to be about partnerships and leverage. And just yesterday, I think we got the Breast Cancer Fund signed up to work with us. PSC signed out a pledge. Thank you, PSC. Another hauler. We got Republic Industries to just sign a pledge, a big national hauler. So we're very excited about all these partnerships because they all have people in the building. And they're coming at it from a different angle. When you start seeing all these different groups lining up in support of the same bill, that's when they go, I think they got something here. DTSC has authority already through the green chemistry rule to require take-back for toxic products. So we have signed a partnership with them and did a press conference with them about the ocean litter issue. We did this, and the partnership is going to help us move this along. It gives credibility to both sides. SWOT analysis. You really have to look at what are your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Know all of these. You build on your strengths, figure out where you're weak, and bolster those weaknesses. Change is an opportunity. There's a lot of change going on in the building, a lot of change with economics, but there's never been a better time for product stewardship because you don't have the money. It is so crystal clear that we're not protecting the environment, we're not protecting public health, and we don't have the money to do this. So it's actually a real opportunity, and that's how we're leveraging it with our industry groups, saying, it's okay then, I guess, if you don't want to do anything, we'll just raise taxes. Or we'll raise your garbage rates. Either way, it's not going to make you very competitive. And knowing your opposition, you have to be careful about who your allies are and who your opposition is, and keep them informed. We are very transparent about what we're doing. There's never been a secret. It is what it is. We stay true to our mission. We stick to it. Build on your strengths. Local governments have more power than they know or use. That is like number one lesson for you guys. Local governments have been extraordinarily quiet in this country, especially when it comes to stewardship. The local governments have just been taking it and taking it and taking it. Local governments in Europe and other places, they are not taking it. Our local governments have traditionally been very passive. Action is what's going to get us somewhere. Adopting EPR resolutions has been very, very helpful in informing legislators about where your electeds stand in their district. Those people very well likely will be next year's legislators. So it's very important to stay in front of those local electeds about product stewardship and get them to adopt the resolutions. The resolutions are a benefit in that they ask for the manufacturers to take some responsibility, and they give authority to the staff to write letters very quickly and to support policy change. And then utilize every opportunity that comes to you. Don't overlook, think outside the box. This is my little friend, Olivia Bernheimer. She's 11 years old. And she asked me, Heidi, what do you do? And I told her, and she said, is that like my Nintendo that's really overpackaged? I asked for, I got a little chip in this big plastic box, and don't recycle. And she just went off. I said, Olivia, we have got to get you at a hearing because nobody can say no to you. And you know what? She was very effective. You know, we have to get the next generation's voice heard. This is the earth they're going to inherit, and I just wanted to make sure that children aren't forgotten in this whole thing. But she did that. She's now working on a YouTube video that we're going to post on the same issue and on some packaging. She was so excited she called me because of all those shoes that she bought. Instead of having a bag for the box now has 2 holes in the top where they actually put a rope in it, and you actually carry the box out of the store. She was so excited to see this. So she's going to do a YouTube video. The other thing is utilize the press. You know, be a shameless promoter of your organization or your mission, because if you don't, you will not be tagged as the go-to organization for the expertise. You have to get out there. Now, photos speak 1,000 words. I don't think I have to say anything when I put this up. Is anybody now concerned about ocean litter and packaging? So let's make sure we get good pictures, good documentation of our problem. The other thing is get data. So for you guys at the local level, it's really important to make sure you're documenting your costs. You can actually say it costs us this much every year to manage this product type. And then break it out by how it's, you know, disposal, collection, labor, all of that stuff. But definitely keep track and tell your local electeds how much it's costing. Napa City just adopted their resolution last night in support of EPR, and in their staff report it said that their costs went up 45% last year for HHW. Huge increase in 1 year. So, I mean, when you start throwing data like that out, they get clear real fast. They have no way to deal with all this stuff, and they need a better solution. The other thing is look at multiple pressure points. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket. We are not doing that in any way. I mean, while we love the wastewater and EPR framework, we're certainly following the green chemistry and what's going on with that. Ocean litter. We are now being asked, I don't know if you've heard, but the Regional Water Quality Control Board in the Bay Area just put a 0 TMDL on litter by 2022, I believe, 2021. So we were just asked to present to them, their Regional Water Board, in January about the whole product stewardship for packaging and how that could reduce ocean litter. Greenhouse gas implementation, the report I just showed, just linked 44% of this country's GHG is coming from provision of goods. And 80% of that is the front-end manufacturing. It is not the back-end disposal. There is nothing more important we could do to reduce climate change impacts than to implement EPR and get true source reduction. The local HHW and solid waste plan updates. Rob talked about this in the session earlier. You've already got solid waste plans and hazardous waste plans. You can always update and revise them to say, we can't do this by ourselves. We need product stewardship. We're going to plan on this phase out of taking these products, and we're going to support EPR policies for hazardous waste. So that's what I mean, if you can't do it, you can't do it. And let's not pretend we can. Hauler contracts. Tell your haulers that you really like EPR, and make sure that that's a condition that they, in their contracts, that they support product stewardship and the efforts towards it. Green business certification, positive ways that you can encourage EPR by making sure that if you're a green business, if you take back products that are toxic that you sell. And then educate consumers. I mean, this woman on the left, Beth Terry, well, she got all motivated about water filters, but they upset her because Clorox, when they bought Brita, was not recycling the water filters, and there's millions of them. And in Europe, they recycle them and make them into new products. And she found that out, so she started a blog, got hundreds of people upset and sending all the water filters to Brita. She found us, asked us to write a letter. Our board said absolutely, so we did. The end story, 3 months later, they're taking it back. They've contracted with Whole Foods to do it. And we did a press conference with them. So public pressure works.